Hi everyone, this is Stirp, and today's video is part of the October Horror Authors lineup. I've been talking about it on social, on my YouTube channel, that this month I will be reading short stories out loud from different horror writers. So I've called out for submissions in mid-September, and I have 7 different authors that I'm going to be introducing to you throughout the month. Today's author is Kerry E. Black. Kerry E. Black writes all sorts of things and calls the land where Romero's dead walked home. Published work can be found in a variety of online sites, journals, and several anthologies, most of which, including her novel, are available on Amazon. I'll be leaving her website, Twitter, and Instagram links in the description below, so be sure to check those out. And with that, this is Kerry E. Black's short story called Hetty's Hate. Hetty wanted to punch him in the gut and watch him double over. Then when he looked up at her, confused and angry, punch him in the nose and feel his blood squelch over her fist. Instead, she hid her hands within the sleeves of her too big shirt and controlled her breathing. To all appearances, the dutiful daughter. See, it's for the best. We don't need her anyway, her father said. She wished her glare could burn a hole through his dishonest heart. Yes, they did need her. Hetty needed her. Without her, all of the household responsibilities fell on Hetty's 13-year-old shoulders. She turned away from him and gathered the dishes from dinner. Hetty scraped the uneaten spaghetti into the trash and sunk the soiled dishes and cutlery in the soapy water in the sink. Her hands warmed as she sought the wash rag beneath the bubbles and set to scrubbing. Her father ran his hand through his thinning gray hair, pushing it from his flushed face. He resembled an anorexic Einstein after, hair standing on end. She tried to ignore him, but his every movement annoyed her. How many women's hearts did he think he could win? She swiped each tine of the sterling, removing any trace of her dad's latest conquest. She ran her finger along the rim of the crystal, assured that the woman's lipstick left no waxy residue. He sighed. I think I'll go to the bar. She longed to admonish him. Don't you think you've had enough tonight? His eyes resembled a pink eye's patience, and his nose glowed red. He stunk of stale wine, and droplets of the latest red stained his front. The clock showed a cheery weekend 6 o'clock. He could find another night if he cleaned up a bit and put on the musky cologne to mask the smells of stale drink and broken heart. Father required diversion and attention. Another could help around the house and, if clever, might claim his affections for longer than a month. I'll call a cab, she said, with a quiet voice. You should change your shirt and mind your manicure. He considered his hands. Yeah, you're right. He sounded distracted. She threw the drying towel over the cleaned pots. I hate that I have to do the cleanup. She dialed the taxi company with the standard instructions, then set to work, donning an apron left by one of her father's conquests. Better I do it, I guess. He'd make a mess of things anyways. The cabbie beeped his arrival. She wiped her hands on the apron and watched him fuss before the hallway mirror before departing. His hair lay tidy and his clothes befitted a wealthy playboy. She stood on tiptoes to apply a bit of concealer to disguise the redness of his nose. Visine, cologne, and Garden Gate Mechanics soap worked their magic. Thanks, Pudding, he said. He touched his index finger to her nose. His hand smelled of rosemary and lye. You have this under control? Her neck hurt as she craned to look into his blue eyes. Many of the women thought them bright and welcoming, like a summer sky. Hetty knew the truth. Their blue served as a premonition of their demises. Don't I always take care of everything, Daddy? His smile displayed perfect teeth. Yes, you do. She shuffled her feet, leaving arching patterns in the nape of the carpet. She feared meeting his gaze. If you bring another one home who helps with the housework, can we keep her a bit longer, do you think? Please? For a while, his words thrilled her. He cupped her chin and kissed her forehead. You do a lot to help your old dad. You're my only true girl. Her stomach lurched. She took a shallow breath, fearful that a deep one might loosen the bindings she wrapped around her rib cage. Hetty wondered if by growing she might lose his true girl designation. As much as she hated him, she couldn't bear that. By an instinct, she flattened the burgeoning curve springing from her chest, squelched signs of adolescence without mercy. In the others, the conquests, something about buxom tops and tiny waists inspired his desire. When he tired of their perky bouncing, he worked around pretty lingerie to extract what he wanted and leave it on a platter to be preserved. When the taxi's taillights retreated like a hellhound hiding among tombs, she finished the cleaning. He preferred his women small, which made tidying up a bit easier. She grabbed a mason jar and twisted its cold two-part lid. She wrinkled her nose when the formaldehyde stunk up the dining area. It made a plop as she poured the heart from the serving dish into the jar and secured the lid. She marked it with the date, then put it with the others in the pantry. Initial first impressions, what did you think of Kerry E. Black's short story Hetty's Hate? I'm not big on dissecting like what the writer was intending to do or say. I don't, that's really very personal, but for me, I immediately think about those relationships we have with people that, again, like we despise them or we hate them. Like I feel like hate's a strong word, but there's tons of us out there, every single one of us, who have a family member or someone in our life where you really do not like them. Like they are a horribly bad person. Now this is taken to an extreme, right? A big extreme. Even the fact that this daughter hates him, but still can't bear to not be his true girl, can't bear to let go of him, right? Because of all the horrible things that he's doing. So I think it's just very interesting how that in general is something that happens to us all the time, where we have these relationships with people and you kind of wish or want to just cut them off, and sometimes you're able to, and sometimes it's not that easy. I would love to hear what your thoughts are about the short story by Kerry E. Black. Again, I'm going to leave the links to her website below, also her Instagram and Twitter. Thank you so much, Kerry E. Black, for submitting your short story. I absolutely appreciate it. I would not have been able to do this awesome October author lineup without you and without all the other authors. So I do appreciate it so much. Thank you. It's not easy to write anything, number one, and it's also not easy to just throw yourself out there and put yourself out there. And I just want to say thank you, Kerry E. Black, because it's extremely inspiring to have you submit this and allow me to read it on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much again. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.